It's a terrible football show. What do you expect?
I want whatever you guys are smoking right now.
Just in my brain, it just makes so much sense.
OH!
Oh, baby,
go.
yeah!
You have no quarterback. You're going to need some punters.
Welcome to a terrible football show.
That's my quarterback and my teammate, man. Ruins my fucking holiday every damn year.
Alex,
What up?
you could thoroughly kiss my ass.
If it's Toledo, I'm drawing the best damn rocket there is out there.
Now that's gonna look like a dildo.
I told my HR director
Seven.
about this show. He's going to listen to it.
They draft Xavier Worthy. What the fuck? Wide receiver from Texas.
Fucking hamster.
It's a hamster mixed in with a sheep.
The Buffalo Hamsters have traded.
Listen, guys, this is a terrible football show where everybody may be good at nothing, but we are terrible at everything.
That's facts. That's a clip for the intro.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
That's a clip for the intro, baby. Yeah, he's successful at just giving his terrible opinions, so why can't I? Terrible football show, after all. Welcome to a terrible football show. It is April 1st, 2025, the kickoff episode for season 5, but fear not, even though it's April Fool's. This is no April Fool's joke here. We are here to give you our terrible opinions, and we almost have a full house. Let's go around the room. We have our very own Ohio fuck. We got Jacob. Buddy, how's it going?
Not going too bad. It's not, Camper Arc is back, boys.
Camper Arc, here we go. Shout out to the Camper
Shout out
Arc.
to that.
Yeah. Shane, we got the handsome devil hanging out with us. Shane, traveling to the Great West. How we doing?
Pretty good. Chilling, ready to talk some football.
Yeah, that's right. We got some stuff to talk about today. Coming back after about a month off or so, we're at just in time for draft season, and then we have our very own coach who's currently calling a soccer game. So I don't know if he can respond to me right now. But Ricky, how we doing?
I can definitely respond to you. I'm pissed because Sheridan just scored a goal and now we're down 2-0.
Oh no! But buddy, besides that, how we doing, brother?
I'm not bad. I had a great spring break. Just got finished cruising. Wish I was still on the cruise, but it happens. It's back to life.
Back to life, back to talking football, am I right? Because it is that
right.
time, brothers. So it is draft time. From now to the draft, we will be here every single week. Shout out to that. We'll be back next Tuesday, and then the next Tuesday, and then not the next Tuesday because it's draft week, so we'll be here on a Thursday, and then we'll be back on a Tuesday, and then we'll figure out May, June, and July, and then we'll be back in August. So it'll be great. Can't wait to do a lot of draft stuff over the next month. Today, we got a line of topics that we're going to be trying out and just having a good time with the boys. Can't wait to jump into it, and I can't wait to jump into some draft stuff over the next few weeks. Don't know everything we're doing for the draft yet. I know last year we tried a lot of different stuff that was pretty fun. I'm thinking we may try to do a big group draft again because that was chaotic and fun. Might try to reel in on the chaos. Lamar Jackson does not need to get traded from the Ravens again. I don't remember who did that. It might have been me, actually. But that doesn't need to happen again.
It definitely was you.
I'm pretty sure it was me that traded Lamar Jackson. So I need to reel this in a little bit, but I think a group draft, I think would be a lot of fun, and we will have our one legitimate mock draft. Either the draft night, not sure. Might try to do a show that Tuesday before the draft if everyone can, and do our single draft then, and then chime in right in time for the draft on Thursday. We'll figure it out, but you can subscribe to the channel so that way you know what's happening, and we would appreciate that, as well as check out the Patreon down below. We'd appreciate that extra support. Join the Discord, be a friend, tell a friend, check out the sponsors that we will absolutely shout out because I have a script. And the music ended perfectly. Let's go. Cooking. Here we go. Ended it at perfect time because it was about to start talking again. Our voices were about to chime in, so it kicked off at the perfect time. Shout out to Tyler in the chat. I know Tyler's currently still working, unfortunately. He said, yo, jerseys backwards. That's Discord's fault, brother. It's not my fault. All right, that's Discord. We are on Discord. That is not my fault. But I do have a lot more jerseys. Shout out to that, boys. A lot more jerseys.
It's actually not Discord. It's actually YouTube or OBS. Because in Discord, it's normal.
See, it looks backwards for me up on the old Discord up here on my monitor. So, I don't know. I don't know. But shout out to all my jerseys. I've gotten a lot of jerseys. I've gotten a little too addicted to Goodwill Finds. For anyone who has not learned the magic of Goodwill Finds, you need to know the magic of Goodwill Finds because you can find so much great stuff on Goodwill Finds, including this signed Brandon Marshall jersey. You can't completely see it, but you can see the writing. That is a signed, legitimate Brandon Marshall jersey. Got $50. Shout out to that. Got a Darren McFadden Raiders jersey. Shout out to that. It was in Hawaii for whatever reason. And then I also got 3 Hawaii jerseys, from Hawaii. So shout out to that. So
Wait, you found the McFadden jersey in Hawaii?
yeah, I didn't realize that till after I bought it because I bought the Greg Salas 1 Hawaii jersey and the McFadden jersey at the same time. They came in the same package from Goodwill in Hawaii, which also happens to be my 4th package from Goodwill in Hawaii because I found the Bryant Munoz and I cannot remember Royce Pollard's jersey at 2 separate times too. So yeah, just shout out McFadden Raiders jersey was in Goodwill Hawaii for whatever reason. I don't know, but shout out to that. That's the thing.
Right.
I also don't have a place for them yet, but over on the Shotgun Cam, I do have a Deion Bush Miami Hurricanes jersey, and it is Deion Bush. It's not Willis McGahee because there is a differences, in those jersey types. Okay, let's make that clear. A good old Jay Cutler jersey, and I also have a San Diego Chargers LaDainian Tomlinson jersey. So, brothers, we're cooking. And, for my unfortunate, sad, depressed Cowboys fans here in the room, there is always a lot of Cowboys jerseys on Goodwill Finds. So, brothers, if you want a good old Tony Romo jersey or a good old Jason Witten jersey or maybe even a Julius Jones jersey, I've seen that pop up. Yeah, that's random, right? Roy Williams, too. Seen that one pop up.
That's a good one.
If Marion Barber pops up, I'm probably going to grab that one for myself. I'm not going to lie. Shout out to Marion the Barbarian. Rest in peace. So, I don't know. Shout out to Goodwill Finds. Go check it out. You can, in fact, affirm it. It is paired with Affirm. So, I'm just saying, make some bad decisions like I have.
Stop.
Yeah. Make some bad decisions. But, also, last shout out, we can jump into stuff. I have officially also completed my Devin Hester career jersey path. I'm pumped about that. I have the Chicago Bears jersey, the Atlanta Falcons jersey, the Baltimore Ravens jersey, and the Seattle Seahawks jersey. Specifically, the away Seattle Seahawks jersey because that's the only game he played with the Seattle Seahawks. I pay attention to details. So,
Hell yeah.
we cooking. I fucked up my camera again. All right, boys, how we feeling? We ready to jump into it? We got a list of topics to run through. We about to cook today.
Let's do it.
All right, boys, let's do it. Let's go ahead and kick things off with the hottest thing off the press right now. Things that are popping off right now in the NFL. And that is the relationship between the owners and agents. And how important is it? Because as my 2 Cowboys fans know very well, you got a superstar defensive player by the name of Micah Parsons, who, shout out, I can't remember if it was me and Tyler or me and Shane or all 3 of us, totally forgot about to shout out for Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate when he was a rookie. Don't remember who it was. I think it might have been all 3 of us, or it might have just been me and someone. I don't remember. Either way, shout out to that. Micah Parsons, of course. You guys have a superstar down there that are trying to work out an extension. But Jerry Jones, the man himself, is trying to work out a deal to Micah directly. And said on video today that he doesn't even know who Micah's agent is. And Micah's just like, look, I hired this man for a reason, and it's to take care of these deals for me so I don't get scammed. So my boys, my questions to you is, how much do the relationships matter? And is Micah out the door? Is this done? Is Jerry Jones going on video saying that his agent is a non-factor and he doesn't even know who he is? Is this over? Is the time of Micah Parsons in Dallas come to a close? Jacob, let's start with you as one of our residential unfortunate Dallas Cowboys fan. How are we feeling about Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'll be brutally honest and straight to the point and blunt. Get Micah Parsons out of Dallas.
Okay.
I love Micah. I love him a lot. I think he has and is going to have an even better career somewhere else. He is too well of a talented player to be wasted on a team who's probably never going to make a Super Bowl within the next 10 years.
Ooh, okay. All right. I love it.
I mean, let Micah walk. We can trade up and get Abdul Carter.
Ooh, all right. You're going for the big swing.
It's the only swing. It's the only other option because I fear as though because what Jerry said in front of millions of people, that's the final nail in the coffin.
Okay, all right. So trade up for Adil Carter. Are you sure you're not going to trade up for Shadir Sanders? It's about to be Sanders country over there in Dallas. The 1 year, the one and done Schottenheimer, to sign Dion next year, draft his son this year. Is that are you going to draft Shiloh in the later rounds? This is about to be Sanders country down in Dallas.
You're making my ears bleed. I don't want any of the Sanders boys near Dallas.
Well, you might want to buckle up, buddy. It's a possibility.
Well, let's be real here. Let's be real. I've been telling everybody for a while now. I even said it towards the end of the last season. I've been telling my grandpa. I've been telling everybody. This might be the final year for me.
As a Cowboys fan.
Yep.
You just going to transition over to the Bengals?
We'll see.
Okay. I mean,
I'm a free agent.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair because whenever I had my period before everything in the most positive way possible went well for me as a Chicago Bears fan, I was talking to someone. It's just like, if we can't get this right, I might be done. I think it was Tyler's like, well, if that happens, you can't go be a Jags fan. You need to keep the Jags as number 2 because you're going from suffering to suffering. I'm like, I agree. The Jags are staying at permanent number 2. I'm about to go straight bandwagon this bitch, and we about to hop on a real winner, baby. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's cook. We about to cook. All right, Shane, what about you, brother? How are we feeling about Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons? Is this the end of the line for Micah Parsons? Is the deal going to get done? How are we feeling on this? How ridiculous does Jerry Jones sound?
I mean, let's be honest. We all know Jerry Jones, right? He is an ornery, stubborn old man. Okay. He is set in his ways, and he's going to stick to that. Okay?
Right.
He will not let anything go past his ego. And that's coming from an Arkansas fan who actually likes him because he does things for Arkansas that not a lot of people do. Right? But I still think his ego is going to get ahead of him, and he's going to lose a Hall of Fame player in Micah Parsons. So what's going to happen is this is it. It's over with. Micah Parsons is going to be gone. And the defense is going to suffer.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you do somehow manage to pull a rabbit out of a hat and do go get a player like Abdul Carter or the defensive tackle from Michigan, somebody like that's a stud, it's not going to be the same. At least for the first 2 years. I don't see a rookie coming in and giving you even close to the same kind of performance that Micah Parsons have been giving you. And I get that he did have some down years 2 years ago or whatever, but at the end of the day, that's a Hall of Fame player that you're going to be losing. If I was Jerry Jones' son or even a coach or anybody, I'd be like, hey, suck it up. We need to find a way to get not only this player back, but get him happy and build around him. He's still in his prime. He's still a prime player to build a defense around. There's plenty of talent on the defensive side of the ball this year. There's plenty of ways where you can get that defense going. And earlier, Jacob, you said, that's really the only option y'all have. I will disagree. I think y'all need offensive line severely badly. And y'all also need weapons. Y'all need to help CD out. You need to get a stable running back room. Why hurt yourself even more and lose a Hall of Fame player like Micah Parsons? Doesn't make any sense.
I meant the only option in regards to the Micah Parsons situation.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, all right. I think also part of making him happy is getting Jerry Jones no longer the GM of the team. I think we can all agree to that. Because as long as he's the GM.
Steven.
Do what now?
Give it to Stephen Jones.
Right. Yeah. Ricky, what about you, buddy? You a residential Dallas Cowboys fan. How are we feeling?
Okay, so first of all, relax, everybody. For the love of God, it's just one statement. Now, let me make something clear. Number one, if we're going to trade up, we need to get a running back in Ashton Genty because he's probably going to be taken somewhere in the top 5, if not top 10. He is going to be taken up there. He is going to be gone before he gets to Dallas. Number two, Let's go back into recent history a little bit, gentlemen. Who just completed a major deal without having an agent because he represented himself because he knew the business? Hint, hint, that's Lamar Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. It was Lamar Jackson who went into himself. He negotiated with the ownership himself. The owners did not want to do this. The owners wanted to use his agent. Now, I am all for using agents. The one thing with using agents is, yes, Micah Parsons is right when it comes to using agents. You want to be able to get whatever value that you can, whatever value that you are set on the market. And I am perfectly fine with either way. I have no problem with what Jerry said. Jerry's saying he wants to talk to Micah one-on-one because I think Jerry wants Micah to be a Cowboy for the rest of his career. And I think that's why he wants to go one-on-one. Now, the last thing that I will point out is Shaquille O'Neal. If we look back at Shaquille O'Neal, one thing Shaquille O'Neal said years ago was whenever he was a player, the owners would directly go toward his agents. They would not even talk to him because they felt like he didn't know what he was talking about. So Shaq educated himself to the point where he also started to represent himself along with his agents, where he could talk to the owners one-on-one. This is nothing new. This is not even really, I would even consider this somewhat old school in some sort of sense of the way. So I don't think this is as big of a deal as what we are letting it out to be. I think this is just one little bitty deal to where owner is saying, I want to talk to him man to man, because I guarantee you, no matter what happens between here on out, no matter what happens, Jerry is going to want to keep this kid for life. He wants him to be a lifelong Cowboy, and the only way he can do that is by talking to him one-on-one. I'm not saying that his agent doesn't need to be present. I'm not saying that his agent won't have anything to do with it, but if Micah Parsons refuses just to talk to Jerry Jones just a little bit about being a lifer, well, then what else are we going to do? Kobe Bryant did the same thing with the Los Angeles Lakers, ladies and gentlemen. He had an agent, but they talked to him one-on-one because he is part of the business. That's what Jerry is trying to refer to. It doesn't matter what the owner's name is, or it doesn't matter what the agent's name is. What matters is the player that you're trying to keep in Dallas, and that is Micah Parsons.
Ooh, I love it. That's fiery. And also shout out for the listeners, shout out to the fact this man is watching a soccer game prepared to shout out goal at any moment while he fired off that. So shout out to that. He brings up some good points. Does anyone have a rebuttal to anything?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's, I don't think it necessarily is man to man. I just don't think Micah wants to deal with Jerry at this point. I think there has been, I can't speak for Micah, obviously. I don't even know him.
Micah can speak for himself, though, because he did clap back about this today on Twitter.
Exactly.
Jacob, they just gave Dak one of the richest deals in quarterback history. Do you think?
Yeah, like 2 years too late.
I don't care, but what I'm trying to tell you is they gave him the richest deal in history when it comes to a quarterback. Do you think they're not going to do the same thing for Micah Parsons? I bet you they do.
I bet you they try to.
Let's be honest. I think Dak was performing really well, and they wanted a deal done. I don't even think there was really any negotiation. I think Dak probably just went in there and said, hey, this guy's getting paid this. I want more. I've done this. And it was a done deal. I mean, that's pretty simple. But the thing where I'm going back to where it's kind of a disconnect, because go back and watch Dallas's sideline for the last, 12 weeks of the season. Everyone there was not only pissed that they were losing, but they were almost beating each other up, arguing with each other because of how poorly they're doing. And it's not even on them, it's on the staff, including Jerry Jones, for not doing their job and building the team like it needs to be built.
Yeah, I don't think Micah does not strike me as the person who wants to have the most lucrative deal an Edge has ever had in the NFL history. Micah strikes me as a person who wants to be on a team that wins. He wants a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He wants that stuff. He doesn't strike me as a person who wants or is chasing the money.
You could say the same thing about Miles, but money talks.
True.
Money
very
does talk.
true. But here's the thing. You can tell just in the way of how Micah was towards the last half of the season last year, including this offseason, with downturn after downturn after downturn, bad decision after bad decision after bad decision that this team is making. And really, honestly, I think it culminates with the head coaching hire. Wow. What a train wreck of a hiring process that was.
I love
I
it.
don't think
Oh, yeah.
Michael wants to talk to Jerry. I don't think he really, not necessarily doesn't respect Jerry. I just think he's pretty fed up.
Okay.
I disagree. I mean, yes, he's probably fed up with some things, but I'm trying to tell y'all, this is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. This is sports media at its finest, trying to make something out of nothing. I'm telling you, he's gonna be fine.
Now that
We're
is
not
the
saying-
Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James stuff.
We're not saying that you're not wrong, right?
Yeah.
We're just saying there's more to it than just what was said. This just kind of adds to it. Well, it's not even like
you could argue that for any player right now. But you look at Dallas right now. What offseason moves have they made? They fired a coach.
None.
They
That's the
fired-
problem.
Exactly. They haven't done nothing for 2 years. And a lot of it's because they're paying out a lot of money to all these players. Now they're having to basically revamp their entire offensive line. I mean, they're in a situation right now where they're basically having this rebuild period. And unfortunately, Micah Parsons, whose rookie contract's coming to an end, now they're going to have to figure out a way to implement him in all this as well. So, I mean, yeah, there's frustration all across the board. It's business, it's business in general. And like I said, I think it's going to be fine in the long run. I don't think Jerry's going to be dealing with this much longer anyway. The dude's 100,000 years old. I mean, he doesn't have much life left, man.
He will die in the ownership position.
He really will. Like straight up.
They will make a statue of him, and they will put his skeleton inside the statue.
That's messed up, bro. That's messed up. All right.
Shout out to Skeleton Statue.
All right. I don't have a bells, but I do have a nice
What the
to play. We're moving on. Next topic. Good job, boys. See what we cooking. All right. I got a good one for you. I'm real curious if someone's gonna twist this in a certain way. I'm real curious if someone's gonna twist this and throw another topic into this and throw me a curveball. Let's see if you can. Next thing I've got is right now, who is the biggest loser in terms of draft prospects? Is it as simple as Cam Ward probably going to the Titans? That's a massive shit show. Or is it Sanders, who's looking like he's about to be a Cleveland Brown? All right. Or is it Arch Manning? Because now it looks like the Giants are trying to tank for Arch by signing Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, which is going to be the most electric quarterback room in the NFL and NFL history. Can't wait. Who's the biggest loser out of these draft prospects? And, who's the biggest loser in this whole process in general? Is it the Giants? Are they the biggest loser in this? Jacob, let's kick things off with you.
Oh boy, where do I begin with this? I think the biggest loser, I think you started it off. I think it's Cam Ward going to the Titans.
Okay. All right.
I can't think of a more dumpster fire of a program right now overall. Now there are, let me tell you, there are some dumpster fires around the NFL right now. But overall speaking, I think the Titans are in one of the worst positions ever. Lack of offense, lack of defense, lack of coaching, lack of ownership, lack of funding because it's a smaller city.
Yeah.
And man, I don't understand why people have Cam Ward as number one overall in the draft.
Woo!
I don't understand it
Buddy.
at all.
Buddy.
He is not the best quarterback in this draft by far.
You're the big Cam Ward guy.
I understand that, but in this draft,
you're about to lose some points now, Bubba.
In my humble opinion, Jackson Dart's the best quarterback in this draft.
I'm gonna have to dock you some points on that one, buddy.
Thank you. I will second that. Dock me some points. I will second that. Jackson Dart is the best quarterback in this draft. Write it down. Take a picture.
I'm gonna have to dock some points.
And actually, I think the people here being scored here should deduct this host as some points.
Whoa!
Because I also agree. I think Jackson Dart is the best quarterback in this draft.
All right, I'm overruled. No one loses points. No one loses points. I'm overruled. My bad.
Listen, I hated Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. He torched us year after year after year. But yes, through the pro days, through the scouting combine, he is the most well-polished quarterback. And I'm not saying he's NFL ready. I don't think any of these quarterbacks are NFL ready, just like I think every year. But he is the most polished quarterback coming into the draft this year. And I think whoever snags him in the teens or early 20s is going to get the steal of the draft.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I did not think that would stick as much as it did, but damn it, I'm happy that it did.
Oh my good God. All right. Well, Jacob says Cam's the biggest loser. Let's go around. Shane, who's the biggest loser in this whole thing? Clearly, you think Jackson Dart's the biggest winner here. Who's the biggest loser out of everything happening right now?
I think Shadur Sanders is the biggest loser. I think he is in a no-win situation. Because best case scenario, he goes to the Titans, which we know how much of a dumpster fire they've been in the last 2 years. Or his next two options are a Cleveland Brown team that have proven over the last 25 years that they cannot not only choose right in the draft when it comes to quarterbacks, but they cannot hire the correct staff to develop quarterback talent. So that's literally the worst place any quarterback can go. And then honestly, the next best option is for some reason Abdul Carter, which I can see happening, goes to either Tennessee or Cleveland or the Giants. Find a way to draft Shadur for some odd reason after signing Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, when I don't think that's going to happen anyways. They're not going to be on the market because I agree. I think they're going to be tanking for Arch Manning. So, I mean, best case scenario, you go to the Titans. Worst case scenario, you go to the Browns. And let's be honest, guys, that's where quarterbacks go to die.
Okay, all right. Ricky, who's the biggest loser in everything?
I'm just going to be dead honest with you. I don't think there is much of a biggest loser because you just mentioned both of them, and they're both in terrible situations. If I had to choose one over the other, right now, I'm going to choose Tennessee. And the reason why I choose Tennessee is because we saw Cleveland here not too long ago. They were a playoff team, and they were fitting some pieces in very, very well. The only problem they cannot get is a quarterback. I think I got to stop the clock for a penalty kick. Anyways. Yeah, got to stop the clock for a penalty kick. Anyways, so with that being said, I still think when you look at Cleveland and you look at Tennessee, I think Tennessee they're a couple spots away from a couple players away from being able to to be a contender. But it's going to take some time. Right now you've got a Cleveland Browns. They're just trying to fit some more pieces in. They've been the most successful here lately. It's Tennessee. Whoever goes to Tennessee is the biggest loser, regardless of who it is.
All right, so he's thinking whoever, does not matter if it's a QB or not. Whoever's going to Tennessee is, in fact, the biggest loser. No one took the curveball that I was thinking was a possibility to take. And that's fine. That's fine. I was thinking someone would like to try to twist it in a way that Pittsburgh was going to be the biggest loser because now they're going to be stuck with Aaron Rodgers since the Giants went with Russell Wilson and Jameis Smith. But no one took the curveball. I figured it'd be Ricky of all people be like, oh, Pittsburgh's the biggest loser. They're getting Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, let the dude retire. The dude just needs to retire.
He does.
Like,
he does
I'm so
need
sick
to retire.
Of this Aaron Rodgers nonsense. They just need to go ahead and just retire. Just retire. I'm done with Aaron Rodgers. I'm done with Aaron Rodgers. I'm done with the Dallas Cowboys. Go Commanders.
Hey,
Go
you know
Commanders.
what's funny is they're a contender for my new #1 team next year.
I love it. I love it. Jesus Christ. Go Commanders, baby. All right. So, yeah, the next one I've got is actually Pittsburgh or retirement. So, with Aaron Rodgers, that is the real question. Is it retirement or is it going to be Pittsburgh? Because, like, the thing is, guys, I understand Aaron Rodgers was not the flashy MVP Rodgers last year. We can all agree the Jets got cooking a little bit there at the end of the year, right? They had flashes. But, you know, it's kind of funny. Because, you know, he said it once upon a time on the Pat McAfee show that down years for him are career years for other quarterbacks. And that was honestly kind of comparable to how this year went, where this was a down year for Aaron Rodgers. But if you look at his statistics, those statistics are on par with other QBs this year that had like career years. So the question is it Pittsburgh or is it retirement? The Giants are off the board. What's next for Aaron Rodgers? Ricky, you want to kick us off? I know you love Aaron Rodgers so dang much.
Here's the thing. Listen. He's a Super Bowl champion. I have a respect for him just because he's considered the OG now. There is that term of respect. When it comes to Aaron Rodgers. But I'm so sick of this entire scenario that we've been dealing with, what seems like to be forever now. The dude needs to retire and go along, and whatever the case may be. He is right. Like you could look at his numbers, and yes, I agree that they were on par with some of the ones who did have great years and everything like that. The thing is, though, they're not going to win a Super Bowl with him. They're going to stink with him. They're going to stink without him. And I think at this point, Pittsburgh is better off going to find a young quarterback that they can develop. They let Justin Fields go, which they were stupid for doing. Of course, Russell Wilson was a totally different story. And hey, I will say this much for Russell Wilson, ladies and gentlemen. I was wrong about Russell Wilson last year. I am proud of the success that he had last year. I thought he played better last year than he has in years. But the simple fact is, right now, Pittsburgh is a dumpster fire. It's not as much of a dumpster fire as the Cleveland Browns or the Tennessee Titans, but it is a dumpster fire. Right now, they are better off going to find a younger quarterback. Whether they trade for it, whether they get it in the draft, whatever the case may be. Just please, for the love of God, do not sign Aaron Rodgers. Please don't sign Aaron Rodgers.
I would like to step in here.
Go ahead.
I'm going to piggyback off of you, Alex.
Okay.
I agree. Down years for Aaron Rodgers is career years for everybody else in the NFL for the last 4 years. Anybody would be happy to sign Aaron Rodgers because worst comes to worst, you're going to get a good starting quarterback. You're going to get a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. It may not produce always wins because, of course, like anybody and any quarterback in the NFL, you need talent around him for that quarterback to success. I don't care who you are. You put freaking Patrick Mahomes on the worst team in the NFL, he will not do what he's doing. I don't care who you are. So, just for reference here, your NFL MVP last year, Josh Allen, 3,700 yards, 7 yards per attempt, 307 for 483, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Okay. Aaron Rodgers in a so-called down year because he cannot play up to par anymore. 3,900 yards, 7 yards per attempt, 368 for 580, 28 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. That's a down year for Aaron Rodgers where we think that he should go and retire. I think the bottom half quarterbacks in the NFL would chew off their left arm with no teeth in order to get those kind of stats and that kind of production. You put that type of quarterback on a Pittsburgh Steelers, they may not win the Super Bowl, but they're going to continue to win. And right now, I think that's all they want to do. They want to continue winning. They want to continue getting above 500. They want to continue to get in the playoffs because they know that once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. It is not the NBA. It is not the NHL. It is not Major League Baseball where you have a series. It's one game, one Saturday night or Sunday night is all it takes to win and keep winning to make it to the Super Bowl. And if he gets on a team like the Minnesota Vikings, which I think that's what he's really waiting for, he's waiting for the absolute go-to Minnesota because they've even come out and said that they have not put a pin on that yet, that it's still a possibility. And I think he will sign with the Steelers if he gets word from Minnesota that it will not happen.
I feel like with the Minnesota one, I feel like that one personally is dead, right? Like unless you have serious doubt on J.J. McCarthy and his injury, I feel like that one's dead. I don't feel like the Brett Favre cycle is going to repeat itself. That's my personal take. But, I think Pittsburgh is the likely place that for A-Rod over Minnesota. Jacob, what about you? What's your thoughts on this whole thing?
Yeah, going off the Minnesota thing, I think that's dead. I think they definitively, after releasing Sam Darnold, said, hey, we're going with JJ. He's our quarterback of the future. Let's ride.
Let's ride.
No, but look, Aaron wants to win. I don't see anything wrong with him going to Pittsburgh. They have the talent. They have the coach. They just went 10-7 with Russell Wilson. And I know Aaron Rodgers is a damn better quarterback than Russell Wilson.
Okay.
And not to mention, they get a fantastic quarterback to help with who I've been hearing. They want someone to teach Skylar Thompson. They got him for a reason. They've seen some flashes of him when he was in Miami. Mike Tomlin has talked very, very, very high of that man. I see it as a win-win for both organization and player when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. I don't see anything wrong with him going to Pittsburgh. I don't think he needs to retire. I don't think he should retire when this great opportunity is right in front of him. They have the wide receiver core. They have a running back room. They have a defense. They have a decently good offensive line. They have damn good tight ends. I don't see an issue.
I think the only thing that hurts the Pittsburgh situation is that he'll look at it and be like, okay, I'm going to be in the AFC. If I'm not mistaken, the AFC, what, East, right?
North.
I could be wrong.
North.
Like, regardless of what division of the AFC you're in the fucking AFC. It's significantly harder to win in the AFC right now than it is the NFC. I think that has to play a role in it.
But again, they went 10-7 last year with Russell Wilson.
That is fair.
It's doable. I honestly think it's doable. And, you know, you have the dumpster fire of the Browns. Yeah, the Ravens can be great, but you always have the injury factor with the Ravens, it seems. And Cincy, you just have to score a lot of points and you win against them because they don't have a defense. So I think it's winnable. I think it's a pretty good situation for Aaron Rodgers versus at least when he went to New York.
Where the team's being run by a 16-year-old who plays Madden.
Yeah.
And that makes the judgment calls of how things are going to go for the team.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. All right, let's hop down to some college ranks. I know you guys love some college football, right? We all like college football. College football is fun. College football is a wonderful place.
I love college football.
Yeah, so let me ask you guys this. It's a two-parter, all right? Two-parter. Here we go. How you guys feeling about the one-and-done, one-year wonder of Frank Reich going down to Stanford, reuniting with Andrew Luck, and what that could do for the program? But also the main point here is Andrew Luck is the GM of Stanford, just like Michael Lombardi is a GM for the North Carolina Tar Heels under Bill Belichick. You know, the word GM in college football feels a little dirty. You know, I mean, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound natural, right? What's our thoughts on the whole aspect of adding GMs to college football, as well as the one and done for Frank Reich down in Stanford as the interim head coach for a season? Shane, let's start off with you. What do we got?
I like it. I think in this day and age of college football with the NIL, you have to have somebody strictly focusing on that, because if not, it takes away from the head coach being able to coach. The coach is not there to negotiate deals. The head coach is not there to get you brand deals, to get you as much money as possible. I'm sure they all love that for their players, and they want to do that for the players that they think is best fit for their program. But at the end of the day, if they do that, guess what? They're taking away from their current roster, from coaching them, and they're taking away time from the recruiting trail and getting players in for the future. I think adding the GM for his primary to focus is to do things like that. It'll take a lot of work off of coaches and assistant coaches and coordinators, to where those people can do their jobs, recruit the players that they want, hand them over to the GM. They negotiate the deals in order to get it done. And then bada bing, bada boom, you move on. And then coaches can focus on coaching.
Okay. All right. Jacob, what about you? What's your thoughts on this whole thing?
I pretty much second everything that Shane just said. You know, it really boils down to when there's money involved, someone needs to be in charge of the money specifically. So that way nothing's getting too muddled and lost in transit. I think it should have been a thing when the NIL first started. Honestly, I think it should have been a position that was more widespread,
more considered sooner, kind of thing.
Yeah, it really should have been. I think that's a lot of the reason why you see a lot of these head coaches fail as quickly as they have been, because it's too much to handle. And as far as Frank Reich is concerned, I have a sneaky suspicion it's not going to be a one and done thing.
Oh, okay.
I have a sneaky suspicion that Stanford might make a return to football.
Oh, here we go. Hey, college football is better when Stanford's better. Can we all agree to that?
Agreed.
Well, I think that's a stretch.
You're about to lose a point. Ricky, can you chime in? Are you able to chime in? What do we got? He's trying. He's fidgeting. He's fidgeting. He's working on it. He's trying. He's doing his damnedest to unmute. He's angry. He's cussing. Oh my God, he's got a steel chair.
I got it, ladies and gentlemen. We got it. We're taken care of. Yeah, I'm just like I said, this has been a great game so far. We're still down 2-0, but it's still a great game. Still a great game so far. I third everything that was said. I think Andrew Luck coming in for Stanford is a great thing for Stanford. We're going to see that even more because of the NIL. We're seeing it in college basketball as well, where Trae Young, I believe, was announced that he was going to be the GM for the Oklahoma Sooners, and they're going to be able to do all the negotiating deals and everything like that for their college basketball program. We're probably going to see this even more progress as NIL deal, because most likely what's next is going to be player contracts, which there should be player contracts. I'm tired of seeing the transfer portal being the way that it's being abused and everything like that. And especially now with the new NCAA rules going with junior colleges and everything like that, it just extends their eligibility. What a kick. Go in the goal. Oh, sorry. And anyways, so what I will say is, though, and I may lose a point for this, why are we talking about Stanford? They suck.
Whoa.
For now.
Oh, yeah, for now.
I do agree with you. But I will say this much. College football is better when Stanford is good, just for the fact is that they're one of those academic schools like Vanderbilt, who but they have more of a rich history with football than what Vanderbilt does. But you root for schools like that. It's very hard to get into a school like Stanford. Very hard to get into a school.
Yeah, and one thing also to shout out is, how you said Andrew Luck is going to be good for the GM. Not only is he going to be good for the GM of Stanford, you know what? Can we all just agree? It's a beautiful thing to have a generational talent like Andrew Luck back involved with the game of football in some capacity, right? Like what a beautiful thing that we're able.
Let me rephrase what you said. College football in general is better when Andrew Luck is involved.
That's right. Here we go. We're cooking. We love to hear it, brothers. All right, so I've got some kind of speed run ones here for you guys. Are you guys ready?
No.
All right, I'll let you prepare then.
Deep breath.
All right, he's ready. All right, right on. Here we go, baby. All right, so first one, just general thoughts. Let me hear it. NFL jersey policy update. You can now wear pretty much anything you want at any time. So how are we feeling about this? Because I would love to see some throwbacks in this game a little bit more. I would like to see some throwbacks a little bit less. How are we feeling about some jersey updates? Speed run me, boys.
It's about time. I don't understand why there's regulations on what you can and cannot wear as long as it's not, egregious.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think as long as you don't have your nether regions hanging out or your tush, I think everything should be okay. Now, I will agree. The only thing I do like that the NFL, hopefully they keep. I am not a fan of the crop top jerseys. I hope they keep that out of the NFL. But other than that, I think not only teams should be able to pick their jerseys that they want, and the scheme that they go for, but I think players should be able to wear any kind of accessories that they want to wear. If they want to wear pink shoes on an orange team because his mom's got breast cancer, he should be freaking allowed to do so.
They do that anyway for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but anyway.
I think it more so means all the time, though.
Yeah, I mean, and I was just using that as an example, right? Like, if you want to have two mouthpieces on your helmet and you just think it looks cool, even though I think it looks dumb, you should have the freedom to express that on the NFL field.
Half of them don't even wear the damn
regardless.
mouthpiece anyways.
That is very true. No, and it's not necessarily a rule that they have to wear the mouthpiece. They just have to have it present.
Right, right. Rookie, what about you? Jersey thoughts. How are we feeling on some Jersey thoughts?
So I'm okay with throwback jerseys. I'm okay with all other kind of stuff like that. But when it comes to accessories and stuff like that, I kind of disagree with it. Even though they're at the professional level, they're getting paid all kinds of money and everything like that. And I understand the religious things that the breast cancer awareness month, everything like that. But one person who is a referee, who is a high school, by the way, let me throw this in. We have issues with uniforms as it is in high school because they think it's the NFL, and so that's where I'm going to kind of be the pro referee in this, and say that I think there doesn't need to be super restrictions enough because they're being paid, but a lot of these kids, especially in high school football, they look more toward the NFL and college players, and the rules are not like the same straight across when it comes to things like that. So in some ways, I'm leaning more toward just don't cross the line on some of this stuff.
I mean, I somewhat agree, right? I mean, like I said, you don't want to go out there with a tucked in tank top jersey and booty shorts for football pants, right? I'm not saying that, but like I think the rule that you have to be covering your entire leg and your sock has to go up to your knee, I think that's ridiculous. I think not being able to wear different colored cleats is ridiculous. I think if you wear different colored gloves than what your team has, you get a fine for it. I think that's dumb. Now, things that has vulgar things that have vulgar slang on it and stuff, yeah, of course you shouldn't be able to wear that because you are a professional, right? But you can at least give these players freedom to wear. If they're on the Eagles, they should be able to wear a red cleat or a blue cleat or blue gloves or whatever they want to wear, because even though it's very minimal, it's at least showing some kind of expression, some kind of brand deal that they may have or something like that, as long as it coincides with the team. I think that's all unfair. But of course, I mean, if you're wearing, if you come out with a shirt like fuck the refs or fuck the NFL or yada, 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 of course that's not okay. But I mean, if it's minimal stuff like that, I think they should be allowed to.
Just as a note, I personally don't agree with them wearing jewelry at all, like necklaces or anything like that. I don't agree with that. I think that should be that stuff stays on the sidelines or in the locker room. And as far as like colors go for accessories like gloves and cleats and everything, I think the only really like major rule that should be in place for colors is that it cannot be obviously the same color, either home or away color, as the opposing team.
Oh, you're trying to get rid of the offensive lineman holding stuff. That's what you're trying to get rid of. You're trying to get rid of their little secret. Yeah, you're trying to cook over here. Speaking of cooking, let's see if he can even attempt to catch up to anyone else in points. We got Tyler just popped in. Tyler, you want to give some thoughts on this, or are you just here to hang out and listen, brother?
Technically, a little bit of both. I'm currently dreaming. I almost forgot to clock out because I joined, so I had to clock out and stop.
Respect.
But the jersey things and the color things kind of reminds me of baseball. I was watching baseball on my birthday Sunday, and some batter had like a neon green shoes on, and dude, I thought that was the coolest thing because that's what I do on MLB 25 and stuff. Always go with the neon colors. So, hey, put them in the NFL and everything. I like it.
You like it. All right. We cooking. All right. So let me keep running through some topics for you guys. Next up, we're going back down to the college ranks real quick. How are we feeling about the Coastal Carolina free concessions thing? Unlimited during the games. How are we feeling about this? This is kind of crazy.
A lot of money.
Kind of crazy.
They're going to lose a lot of money.
They're going to lose a lot of money.
It's awesome.
It's awesome, but they're going to lose a lot of money.
It kind of makes me want to go watch one of their games.
About to be a Coastal Carolina fan.
No.
Oh, they have a cool field.
Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago when they were actually good.
Oh man, come on now. They got a cool field. Cut them some slack.
True.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if that's the way they want to run their program and they think that they can get more people in the seats by advertising, they can get unlimited stuff while they're there, I think that's awesome. Now, of course, I think they're going to end up losing probably more money than they think they are. But hey, there will be butts and seats to watch the game, so that's always a positive.
Yeah, facts. Ricky, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. That's what the whole thing is, to get the butts and seats. And I think one of the things, and I need to look this up, but I don't think their attendance has been very high for football as of late. And a lot of it is because they haven't been as good. But I do agree. I think the free concessions is going to make them lose money. But we'll see. Like I said, it's all about getting the butts and seats and watching football games. That's all it's really about.
Tyler, I know you like some free stuff. I know you about to eat this up, aren't you, brother?
Well, being a fellow big boy, give me all of it. Free is my favorite 4-letter word. And outside of free food, boy, 8-letter word, I'll take it all day. I will say there is a 4-item limit per trip. So if you want to grab 4 things, turn around and hit the little 360, go ahead and get your 4 more. They'll allow it, but it is unlimited during the game. But hey, I will take 75 hot dogs. Call me Joey Chestnut. Take it all day. No diddy.
Hot dog eating contest, middle of Coastal Carolina football game.
Oh yeah, that's about to be what's gonna happen, man. If only they had if they had any form of eggs, Tyler'd be living. He'd be living his best dreams if they had any form of eggs over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, give me one of everything. Give me one of everything. I'll take them.
To add into this, alcoholic beverages, specialty items, and items from third-party vendors are not included.
That's fair though. That's fair.
Also, they didn't put in the concessions revenue last year in the annual financial report, but schools with similar attendance figures, which was on average 21,000 per game last year, generated around $250,000 per game. So that's roughly about how much money they're about to lose per game, if not more, since people can go back multiple times and get food.
But they do also get I don't know who their beverage funding is, but they do get funding for beverages. So they're really not spending a whole lot of money on beverages as it is, whether it's Coke or Pepsi. I don't know who it is, but I know they get money for beverages. So they're really not, like I said, they're getting money from those third-party vendors. Those third-party vendors are paying them money. So yeah, you're right. They're going to lose a little bit of money, but I don't think it's going to, I don't know. Like I said, I think whoever figured this out, figured out a way to balance this out. We'll see.
They have to be making money somewhere else to cover the cost of this. And now I did see where the ticket prices did not change at all from last year to this year, both full season ticket holders and just per game ticket holders. So if they're not making it in the tickets, where are they making it at?
They've got to be making it from the third parties or from alcohol. Got to.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Sunbelt TV, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Sunbelt TV.
Right. Plus, who knows? Maybe new sponsors. We don't know about.
$3.99 a month.
or hey, there's some pretty hefty boosters in Carolina. Who knows?
Hey, funny story. Funny story. This is no joke. I was this close to buying Vanderbilt season tickets this year.
No shit. Were you?
I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
Oh, geez, man. I love it. All right, let's stay in the college ranks once again. What are we thinking about the Colorado-Syracuse joint spring scrimmage game denied by the NCAA? Is this bad for college football? How we feeling on it? Because I feel like, having the idea of a scrimmage game, I respect Dion for wanting to try to bring this bad boy in. I respect it. I'm about it. I'm here for it. How we feeling? Ricky, you're ready to go. You're already loaded. I can tell. Let's go. What you got?
Oh, that's because we almost scored a goal. So I am kind of indifferent about this because whenever I first heard about it, I'm like, yeah, this is great for college football because now you're kind of getting to a point now. You have all these schools who are opting out of spring games. Now you have 2 schools who are like, hey, we will play each other. We will do a spring game format. We will do, same scenario, everything like that. But I also get it from the NCAA standpoint as well. Because of the simple fact is that money always plays a factor. Cross travel always plays a factor. All these other things, they play a factor. There's so many things that you can do to make games sanctioned. And in the NCAA rules, and I guarantee you it's the same thing across the board, there's only certain times of the months and year that you could technically have a sanctioned game. And since you have 2 different schools that you can only play so many games per year, and that would probably have to count toward a game they would play regardless if it's an exhibition game. That's probably why they said, hey, let's go ahead and back off on this and see if we can. And I don't know if they'll implement it next year or not. But all I know is that anytime you play an exhibition game, I know in high school for sure, when you play any kind of exhibition game, unless it's a benefit game. Now, if they label it a benefit game, that's one thing. But unless they label it a benefit game, it will probably most likely count toward the games that they are already scheduled to play. And that's probably why they said no. But don't hold me to that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I think that they would say no. Because otherwise, and it could be a safety issue, right? Because
could be, yes.
And I'm not saying that it will happen all the time, but we have seen in the past teams travel, things happen, and people get hurt. So, that could be an issue too, especially, I'm saying that there could be some serious weather in the spring, but hey, we are here in Arkansas, Tornado Alley. Things can happen, so it could be a safety issue as well. But other than that, and what Ricky mentioned, I don't see anything wrong with it. But I think there could be a compromise, possibly, of maybe doing, like, you can only expedition spring game or whatever they want to call it with in-state schools, right?
That'd be a good idea.
Too, yeah.
That'd be good. With exceptions, there'd be some exceptions like, a school like Wyoming would need to do nearby school, for example. Shout out to the Cowboys. Stuff like that. But yeah, that's a great idea. Actually, is the in-state thing with the few exceptions like Hawaii.
Yeah, because and plus you could play, somewhat. Of course, not just like regular spring games, not a full game. It could be, hey, we're going to play 2 10-minute first and second quarter, or 2 10-minute halves, or a running clock, or yada, yada.
Right.
And the thing is, like, I know with Arkansas spring game, we have coaches always on the field the entire time, talking to their guys. That could be something too. And also, like, it gives chances like, hey, UCA wants to meet us in, somewhere and play, or we go down to UCA comes up to Fayetteville, or we go to Jonesboro, or Arkansas Tech, or just whoever may be in state that wants some reps. I think high caliber reps for practice is only going to help talent. So why not do it for only in state? Because that's going to help the lower end talent in the state that you're playing.
I will also say the idea of the in-state thing, great idea. Now I'm already backing off of it in certain situations. I think a nearby radius is the right play, because I thought of 2 examples of why I would not want to do in-state for them, because they're big rivalry games. Let's not make that a spring thing, and that'd be Washington and Oregon, right? Oregon State, Washington State, Oregon, Washington, right? That'd be an example of, okay, let's get a nearby circle that you can practice against. You know what I mean? Most states could work with in-state stuff only, but you're on the right track, brother. You're on the right track.
I mean, let's be honest. As a competitor, and that's such a big. I mean, of course, like, you're not gonna have Oregon going to play Oregon State, right? As a scrimmage game, because 1, you're ruining your money revenue coming in, and for 2, you don't want them knowing anything ahead of time if you play each other in the actual season. So of course, like, there could be limits, just like I think the NFL or somebody has that too. If you play them during the season, you're not gonna be playing them in the preseason, because like that just doesn't work out, right? Because then they'll have extra tape on you, then all this other stuff. I'm not saying they couldn't get that anyways, but there of course going to be limitations to where you're not ruining those giant rivalries and things like that.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I'm down for it. What about you, Jacob?
I think the biggest reason that the NCAA put a veto on this is just logistically speaking, there just wasn't enough time to plan that. There was not enough time to plan everything out for this. That's why I'm thinking that they're just putting a hold and then maybe coming back on this idea within the next few years. And also think about the timing for this type of game. There's kids going to be going to classes, tests, all of that type of stuff. I think academically speaking, it doesn't make much sense. Now, here's my proposal. Move the FBS and FCS games from in season to these scrimmage games. Get away from the FBS versus FCS games entirely mid-season. Move them to these scrimmage games. The FCS schools still make buku's amount of money from it, and it's a win-win. Plus, there's not much recruiting advantages when it comes to that type of thing either, as it would be FBS versus FBS.
Well, the only thing that it could happen, it could hurt. We see it in basketball all the time, right? Especially during the NCAA tournament areas. If there's a player that's playing for a D2 NAIA team or whatever, and they probably shouldn't be there because they're hired talent, maybe something might have happened, then they go play an Ohio State or a LSU and like, hey, this guy is really fucking good. He can come play for us. And then there's some recruiting on that back end, right? Because I mean, we saw it. Hell, the Xavier played Texas in the NCAA tournament, and 2 days after Texas lost to Xavier, Xavier's head coach is now coaching Texas. So I think that's the only thing that could happen, is that you could hurt your lower division teams, because the higher teams are going to recruit their best talent off their team.
Listen, me personally, I'm just trying to get rid of the FCS versus FBS games mid-season because I think it's a bunch of shit.
Trying to find any way possible to get rid of it is what you're trying to do.
Yes, it's an easy win. For the most part.
Times.
For the most part.
Times. Yeah. Let's not forget North Texas here. Let's chill out.
Oh, geez. All right, boys. We're nearing the end, and it's a very tight race. It's a very tight race.
Oh.
Very tight race. All right, so I've got a few different things I can throw out there, but I think let me see here. All right, let's see. What would be a good way to go? You know what? I'm challenging you guys. You guys give me something. Let's see what you guys want to talk about. What's something that you want to complain about? This is your free space period on tic-tac-toe or bingo. Sorry, on bingo. Yeah, what do you guys want to complain about in the NFL right now? You can even circle back to something if you want
In
to.
the NFL
Or anything, NFL or college.
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
this is your free space
back
of
in a head
bingo.
coaching position.
Do what now?
Let me complain about how Dan Mullen is back in a head coaching position.
Okay.
Coaching.
That man needs to stay away from football. Who's
he coaching?
UNLV.
Oh, wow.
You leave Cousin Eddie alone, man.
Huh? Cousin Eddie.
So he took Barry Odom's job.
You leave Cousin Eddie alone. Let me tell you something, man. You leave my boy alone, man. Dan Mullen is a very, very smart guy when it comes to football. Now, I will agree, he probably needs to stick with TV than when he does with coaching football. But do you think I would have Dan Mullen coaching our defense right now? You bet your rear end I would.
Listen, I get that he, at one point in time, was an offensive mastermind. He was a guru for offense.
Coach Dak
But he's
Prescott.
old, and his ways of thinking are old. I'm tired of these old jarheads coming in thinking they could still give him one more year of like Mike McCarthy or, Bill Belichick, thinking they can give him one last hoorah. And they are mediocre. UNLV is off back-to-back Mountain West championship game, and now they're going to be obscure.
Okay.
Hey, let them live their best lives. Okay?
Dude, relax. It's the Mountain West. No one gives a crap.
Whoa!
Wow!
Whoa! Hold on.
Excuse me?
You're losing a point, buddy.
Hey, hang on. Hang on.
Go
let
Bows.
Let me rephrase this.
Go Bows.
Let me rephrase this. What team right now in the Mountain West, right now, Ashton Jennings gone, UNLV players gone. Who in the Mountain West is going to be worth a darn this year?
Hawaii.
None of them. They're going to be terrible this year.
Hawaii.
They're going to be
12-0.
terrible.
12-0.
Absolutely terrible. Colorado State's not even going to be good. They're going to look at the Mountain West. It's going to be like the bottom of the conference, like the MAC.
Hey, I meant to make this prediction earlier. Ashton Genty is not the best running back in the draft this year.
I 1000% disagree with you, and I've got to go, ladies and gentlemen. So I gotta go. I gotta go.
Have a good one, Ricky.
We're
Have a
on that
good one.
note.
Have a good one,
Bye-bye.
Ricky. Oh man. Oh, I guess Ricky, this is your chance, guys. You can just take the lead now. It's over for Slick Rick. He also got a minus point there for saying who cares about Mountain West. That's disrespectful. We love all levels of football. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, Shane, what's something you want to complain about today? What do you want to talk about? NFL, college, give me something you just fires you up and you want to bitch about. What do we got?
I'm gonna say it doesn't have to be football because I was about to tear into Stephen A. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Terrible football show. Come on.
That's an easy one, man. That's low hanging fruit. That's too easy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let's get thoughts on not only contracts in the NIL. I know we kind of touched on that a little bit, but there has been talks that not only is there going to be contracts, but there will be a salary cap on what you could dish out, and what that possibly can be.
What it could be, like you talk, and this is in college, right?
Correct.
Possible salary caps in college. That'd be interesting.
So basically, it is a salary cap, but the way I saw it in an article is they're going to be limited. It's just like the if you're familiar with old F1 racing, right?
Yep.
Back in the day in the F1, all of the top teams that could dish out all the massive amounts of money were always the best. Just like now in NIL. Well, now they're going to be trying to come up with an agreement. I don't know if it's all of college football or if it's all of Power 4 or it's going to be divided between Power 4 and group the rest of the teams. Would it be group of 5 now? Who knows?
Group of 5 plus 2.
Yeah, group of 5 plus 2. There you go. That there's going to be a limit on what a team can spend to get players. So, therefore, like the Ohio States, the Michigans, your Notre Dames, your LSUs, your Alabamas, teams with large markets and large boosters, and this will affect Arkansas when it comes to basketball too, that because you have more money coming in does not mean that you can spend the most money going out. That it's going to be limited to a certain amount of money that you can spend on your roster.
See, I would agree that something needs to be put in play. There needs to be some type of check and balance when it comes to how much money schools can spend, because you're going to see it going forward. It's going to be consistently the same teams over and over and over again. It was one of the problems with the BCS and why we moved away from the BCS is to widen the range of teams to be able to challenge for a championship. Now it's getting into the money market with the NIL. And it's going to be the same teams over and over again because they have the big boosters, they have the big markets, they have the money to just unleash upon the nation, upon recruits, and they're always going to be the top teams every single year. We need a check and balance to allow for the ability of not necessarily the small markets, but also the medium markets as well to challenge for championships, to challenge for these recruits, these top recruits in the nation.
I agree. I'm just worried that they're going to botch it somehow, and just
it's
say
NCAA. They botch literally everything they touch.
And right, they're going to be like, "Hey, your limit is $50 million." Okay, well that's cool and everything, but it's not like a team like Colorado State or Boise State is going to be able to pull that kind of revenue anyways. So it's like, hey, we got a limit on it, but too bad you're not going to even come close to getting it. So then, therefore, nothing really changes. It just kind of stops like LSU from spending $75 million instead of $50 million, you know? So it's like, where's the real kind of work that you're doing here?
Yeah, because one thing to keep in mind with everything is like, you're not going to always see a situation like Boise State where one player can put them on their back and take them to the level, you know, in terms of like the non-big schools, you know what I mean? Or even the same thing with Arizona State where they went on a run this year. You know, they're part of a Power 5 conference. Yeah, so that plays them a little extra help. But like in a situation like Boise State being Group of 5, like you're just not going to get that every year. You know what I mean? Of one player kind of putting the team on the back. Like you're going to have so many teams. It's still going to be the same teams every year, and that's kind of lame. You know, we want to open things up. I want to see, the North Texas Mean Green go to the championship. Let's go. I want to see something random. Give me some random shit. That's what I want to see. All right, boys. I got bad news.
Is it time?
No, you're still tied.
What?
So I've got one final opportunity for someone to take the lead. All right. And you guys, you guys better come ready to cook. All right. You guys
Is it like a trivia question or is it like what are we doing?
Nah, you got it. Who's gonna get me the most? Whether it's gonna make me laugh or make me agree or disagree. Who's gonna get me the most? We going off topic. We gonna shout out another show. Give me your best wrestling hot take of what's happening in the road to WrestleMania right now. Because I know we all keeping track. Give me your best wrestling hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take. What is your best wrestling hot take? We go shout out to a terrible wrestling show. Go listen to the show. We record an episode before every PLE because we're really busy and we can't do more at the moment, but we hope to do more. We've got a WrestleMania episode coming out sometime before WrestleMania. Give me your best wrestling hot take. I'm putting you boys on the spot.
Okay, I will start.
All right, stepping up.
But I will let you know that I've missed the last 2 Monday Night Raws. And I've missed the last Friday Night SmackDown due to my vacation. So, with that knowledge, I will say this. From what I've seen, number one, John Cena's promos have been some of the best that he's done in his entire career.
I wouldn't call that a hot take.
Okay. Well, from what I've seen, a lot of people...
It's John Cena, man. He's the best on the mic.
True. A lot of people have been kind of iffy on that. And then 2, I do not like what they've done with 1, the soon-to-be triple threat, which we all see coming between Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky. I think that is so dumb in so many levels. For one, I don't understand why you take the belt off of Rhea just for her to be right back into the fight due to some made-up beef because Bianca Belair did this and EO beat her. Like, I think that is the most manufactured shit that I've ever seen in my life. And 2, I do not like... I like the ending of the triple threat of it being Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk, but I do not like the way that they built it, that they accompanied it. The way they got to the point where they're at now with announcing that match and it being the main event, taking away from Jay and Gunther and whatever else they decide to do in night 2.
I'm so happy about that.
I do not. I think, especially from the highlights that I've seen from the recent Monday Night Raw, I think the work that they've done with Jimmy, Jay, and Gunther, I think that deserves a main event. Now, hey, it could be night 2, but at the end of the day, I don't think either belt is going to be a main event, and I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
Either belt meaning what? Because Cody and John is main event night 2.
Yeah, so like, the women's belt is not going to be a main event.
Okay.
And then Gunther's belt is not going to be a main event.
Okay, all right.
So like them 2 belts, and like of course the tag team has been of course thrown to the side again on both sides, the men and the women's. And of course there's just an ongoing shit show of the women's mid-card belts, but I digress.
There has been a shit show of the women's mid-card belts. I'm going to give you that one for sure. That one's frustrating. You introduce these belts and you haven't done a single damn thing with it. And it makes me so damn mad.
There's too many belts. We're getting to be AEW territory. There's too many belts.
Ooh, I like that's funny. That's funny. All right. Is that
that wasn't even going to be my hot take.
That's funny,
I will
though.
Disagree with that. I will disagree with that. I think there's a perfect level amount of belts right now, but I think they're just doing the women wrong on how they're trying to build them up or not build them up or whatever they're trying to do with it. Whatever they're doing with it is completely wrong, because now we've seen Chelsea Green not really fight anything, not lost the belt yet. We've seen Lyra Valkyria defend the belt a couple of times, but of course not lose it. Like, there is no real drama in those belts. And don't get me wrong, Lyra Valkyria is a really good wrestler, but I don't think she's worthy of that. She should be holding this belt for however long she's had it. She's
Especially
not done
with no
any mic
feuds.
work. She's not done any mic work. She's had more malfunctions than championship. She's had more wardrobe malfunctions than she's had championship defenses. And then also, like, I just think, she's really good in ring talent, but I don't think she's better than some of the other people that's trying to come after the belt.
So let me bounce off of what you said, Shane, on one topic, which also kind of ties into my hot take. Reason why Gunther and Jay not main eventing is because it's been stale as hell since up until this past segment with Jimmy being, obliterated by Gunther. Hot take: Gunther needs to squash Jay.
Wow. Okay. Now, squashing means like you talking trademark wrestling squash, like squashes him and wins.
Yep.
Walks out with the belt. Jay's done.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. All right.
And another hot take: I think Seth is going to win that triple threat match, and I think he needs to win it the most out of the three.
Ooh. Okay.
He hasn't gotten a big win in a long time on pay-per-view. He needs it.
Well, what does the win do for him?
I think it puts him right back into the main event spot as far as titles are concerned.
Yeah, but where does that take him, though? Assuming where the title's going to go.
Well, it's not going to take him to the WWE Championship. It's going to take him to the World Heavyweight title picture again.
I think regardless, you can say that about any of the three people that are in that match.
Yeah, but Roman doesn't need it. He's the OTC.
Yeah, Roman.
He doesn't need that.
Roman can
CM Punk doesn't need it because he's the best in the world.
Seth
is just Seth.
See, I actually think Punk needs it the most.
Really?
Yeah, for the sake of storylines, I think Punk needs it the most.
I will actually agree.
I think for the sake of storylines, because it's like I am a Seth Rollins guy. CM Punk and Seth are both my guys, man. I love them. They're 1 and 2, and they're interchangeable at times. So I love the idea of Seth winning. That's super exciting. But my thought process is, where does the story take him? You know what I mean?
I like Seth. Don't get me wrong. I love Seth, but he is starting to get a little stale, I think. And that's why I think he needs this win as a staple trademark win for him at WrestleMania in a main event for his hype and his career going forward.
Okay. All right.
But no, main hot take: Gunther needs to squash Jay, and I am putting that hot take in for WWE starting to turn into AEW with all the titles. It's getting
funny.
to be ridiculous.
That's funny.
Okay. I'll add this too, just real quick.
Okay.
Since she's been back, Charlotte Flair has been garbage.
True, but they haven't really done much with her. I mean, they have, but haven't.
Garbage.
All right, are you guys ready to get the final tally? We're calling it. It's 1, 2, 3. It's done. You guys ready to hear it?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, I'm about to tally. I'm tallying everything up. All right, it was close. I want you guys to know it was close. Very, very close. So obviously, in last place was Tyler. He did get some good points, though, I got to say. Just a couple things he made me laugh. He actually walked away with 7 points in the short time he was here. So shout out to that. In third place, we had Ricky with 26 points. He would have had 27, but the Mountain West comment deducted him down 1. So shout out to that. Coming in second place on the first time of me keeping a tally, we're trying it around the horn style today, having some fun. Even though he had the better hot take, second place goes to Jacob. I'm sorry, buddy.
Damn it.
Shane brought it back. Shane, your hot take was garbage, but you brought it back on some other points. You brought me back in. You brought me back in on some other stuff. The Charlotte comment at the end, I got to be honest, that actually tipped you over the scales.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that tipped you because I agree to that. Charlotte's been garbage. Shane,
Look,
you are ending with 32 points. Jacob, 31 points. Congratulations, Shane. The floor is yours.
Okay, I just want to say thank you for all my competitors. But as always on this ATFS show, I am getting used to winning. It's kind of a thing that I've been doing.
All right, you're about to lose points. It's about to go to Jacob. Calm down. Okay, I'm part of ATFS too.
I will say thank you, and also I will say on my hot takes, I know they might have been garbage, but I was going for points, and I wanted for things that maybe people agreed with. So thank you. Thank you very much.
See, the John Cena one, you didn't get a point out of me. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't agree. Everyone's loving John Cena. Yeah, that was not a hot take, but you brought me back in with other stuff. You brought me back in with the mid card and the Charlotte Flair comment. You brought me back in there because I agree to both of those. All right, boys, that was fun. I enjoyed that. You know, I feel like we can do some more.
Stop to Shane.
Huh?
Getting tired of this.
Do what?
Someone needs to put a stop to Shane winning. I'm getting tired of it. I'm winning the Rumble and I'm coming after you.
ATFS Rumble, let's go. Oh, jeez. All right, boys, let me hit some quick points, and we're going to work our way out here because I got dinner ready, and I'm hungry. So we're going to work our way out here, okay? So I'm going to shout out some quick points. Just shout out, and then if you guys have anything to shout out, let's shout out. You know what? And as we go through all this, we're just going to play the music the whole time because you know what? We're getting out of here. You know, if it repeats a couple times, it repeats a couple times. You know, we're setting the vibe a little bit. You know what I mean? It's all good. So, yeah, I guess first shout out that I'm going to throw out there is the whole Kirk Cousins debacle. Where is he going to go? Is he going to end up going to Cleveland? If that's the case, what the hell is Cleveland doing with that second pick after all? You know, are they going to go Carter? Lots of stuff to kind of watch on there and something we can possibly follow up with. Shout out to all the rule changes, you know, with the overtime rules. Both teams now getting possession in overtime. We love to see that. The continued talks of the 18-game season is currently still happening. And if that happens, you got to add 2 bye weeks. You got to space out these byes a little bit. You got to work on it. You got to figure it out, right? As well as in terms of the rules, the tush push. You got pushed back on trying to ban that thing or not. I think there are people that love the tush push just because it's like a smart play, and there's people that obviously hate it because it just cucks you all the time.
There's 16 teams against it right now.
We're so close. So close. And you know those 16 all had it used against them.
Oh, absolutely. I bet you it's every single one of them was there in the NFC.
Yeah. Now, also got some birthdays to shout out today. Staying in the WWE realm, shout out to Hall of Famer, one of the GOATs, one of the just the best to watch ever. Shout out to the Viper, the legend killer, Randy Orton. April Fool's birthday there. Shout out to Gabe Davis' birthday as well in the NFL. And shout out to one of my GOATs, one of the most hard-hitting sons of bitches in the history of the game. Shout out to Sean Taylor. Rest in peace, also in April 1st. Birthday. Boys, you guys have anything that you want to shout out here today as we wrap up the show? Anything you want to throw out in the universe?
I will say, I don't know if you covered it in a little spill right there, but it's classic NFL trying to solve an issue with technology that's probably not going to work.
Yeah, I saw that.
With them doing the chain gang electronically now.
Yep, chain game is now a secondary capacity.
Yep, instead of getting better refs, they try to solve it with technology. That's not going to work. So shout out to that.
Big facts on that. Yeah, I saw that. Chain gang is still going to remain, but they're now regulated to a secondary purpose and backup, essentially. So that's going to be something to see. Chain gang made it a long way. They made it quite the ways all the way to 2024. So it's something. We'll see how it works. I know UFL is currently utilizing that as well. And shout out to UFL. What a dumpster fire it's already right out of the gate. Shout out to Kellen Munn being so bad that the San Antonio signs his replacement mid-freaking game. Jesus Christ. What a shit show it is down there with Kellen Munn with San Antonio. Jacob, you got anything you want to shout out?
Yeah. Shout out to who was quite possibly the #1 fan of ATFS, my grandma.
Yeah.
She recently passed away. We lost a good one.
Shout out to the Gram. She loved ATFS, man. We even got Shane to say OH for her. Shane, can we get one right here? Let's go. Let's give it all your damn heart, baby. Let's go. OH! Is he muted? Is he not here? Did we lose him?
Oh, hello? I guess I actually guess I screamed it so loud that it didn't actually go through. Okay, let's hit it again. I'll speak directly to the mic. Let's go.
All right, here we go. OH! Shout out to Graham, man. Rest in peace. Shout out to a top ATFS fan, no longer with us. Jacob, my T's and P's to you, brother, and your family on that. So, and shout out to Graham for being a true supporter. of ATFS. We appreciate you. You know, we were a show that almost got sued, so we need all the damn support we can get. That's a true story, not April Fool's. I swear to God, we did almost get sued. So anyway, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. I feel like that's a good little show. Over the next next few weeks, we will be getting a lot into draft talk because draft is right around the corner. And of course, we will be live for the draft special. It's going to be great. Going to be electric. Can't wait. Going to definitely do legitimate mocks at some point. You know, each of us throwing out our one legitimate mock. Hopefully, we can all get on the same show for that. Possibly group mocks where we all act as the GMs of teams and do the drafting, which that can be very chaotic and just a hilarious time. We gotta all mutually decide if we're gonna make it a meme or we're gonna be legitimate and draft actually as the GM and potentially cuck each other like in a real situation. You know what I mean? Because both can be very funny, as we found out last year. So going to be a great time. Shout out to Patreon. Shout out to our Tier 2 patron, Hannah. We appreciate you. And shout out to the Discord. You can join there. Shout out to Rogue Energy and Agent Inc. as well as Spark 3 Shop that I failed to shout out. It was right in front of me. I got so into everything that was happening in the show. I had it in front of me, and I still forgot. Jesus Christ.
It's okay. It's okay. Just remember, that's on par with our new slogan. When everybody's good at nothing, we are terrible at everything.
At everything. That's right. And as Tony likes to say with PTI, we'll try better next time. That's all it is. We'll try better next time. I don't know what else to tell you. Because what Shane said is 100% true. You guys have a great day. It's good to be back. We'll be here all month. Tune in next week. Have a good one. Bye.